What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Macklin Sports Podcast, March the 8th, and we are officially 1 week away from Selection Sunday. We've entered Champ Week, the second greatest week out of all the 52 weeks of the course of the year, in my opinion. And then the first one is the first round of March Madness, right? I mean, this time of the year is a special time. You need to cherish it, right? Well, boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of college basketball to get to, but we got to start off with the Mercer Bears. Yeah, we're changing it up. We don't really, Mercer, not a name you might hear much. Dude, shout out to Jackson Greco and the Mercer Bears. Good friend of mine. I'm proud of them. They're playing in the championship tonight. On Monday night, ESPN, tune in. It's going to be a dogfight. They came into the conference tournament as a 7 seed, right? A little bit of an underdog mentality, but they got good guard play. I like their guards, and they fought their way through. Saturday night, they upset Wofford 62-61 in a dogfight. And let me tell you that Wofford has a guard named Storm Murphy. Okay, he lit up Kentucky. Okay, a couple years ago in the round of 32. This guy's good. So Mercer, yeah, they allowed 21 for the kid, but you know what? A win is a win, right? And they escaped with it. They had a huge first half, kind of fell off in the second half, but their defense came up with a big-time stop late in the game to give Mercer a huge win, which was massive to move them on to the semis. Well, then comes Sunday, where they beat VMI, and that puts them in the championship tonight against, I believe it's Greensboro, a really good school, number 1 seed. It's not going to be an easy matchup, but my boy Jackson Greco and the Mercer Bears have a chance to go dancing in March Madness. And you know what? If that happens, more than likely, hopefully we'll be lucky enough, we will get Jackson on the show to break down an interview with him, and as we get into March. So tune in, ESPN, 7 o'clock tonight, boys. We're all cheering for Mercer. We got to get behind them, show some support, but yeah. Big victory. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. We're all standing behind Mercer here on the Macklin Sports Podcast. Let's go Mercer. But Saturday, oh boy, was there some good games. Boy, what did I like? I've been very high on Illinois, have I not? I've been very, very high on Illinois. I think Illinois is a special team. I think Illinois can make a championship run. I could even see Illinois winning the national championship. I don't think it's a crazy bold take anymore, like I said it was a couple weeks ago. They go in to Ohio State on Ohio State senior night. And was it a dogfight? Yes, it was. But you know what? AO came back. AO, he hit the go-ahead shot to basically win Illinois the game. He was playing with his little, Batman mask. He's suffering a couple facial injuries. Guy is tougher than nails. That's my national player of the year. Huge game. Back and forth. DeJuan Washington can't hit tough shots down the stretch for Ohio State, and that was a big part of it. I thought when Justice Suing, a key player for Ohio State, fouled out with a couple minutes left in the second half, it kind of went downhill from there. And Illinois took advantage of it. And, Curbelo, 19 points. Guy's a baller. He's been a baller ever since the high school ranks, too. Trent Frazier, Curbelo, and Ayo Dosunmu. Oh, my God. What a backcourt right there. What a backcourt. So, big win for Illinois to go on the road. They're 20-6 going into the loaded gauntlet Big Ten tournament, right? As the 2 seed, though. So, Illinois helping their seeding out. They're fighting for that 1 seed, and right now, I think Illinois is going to get that last 1 seed. I really do, and it's up for the air. It's up in the air, but I think Illinois, if they handle their business in the Big Ten tournament, I think they're going to be the last number 1 seed. Now, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. This is a character win for Oklahoma State. No Cade Cunningham, has an ankle injury. But let me tell you, Mike Boykin, what a job he's doing with Oklahoma State. Yes, they're supposed to be on probation for things they've done in the past in the recruiting ranks and things, right? Still not. I think it's good if we get Cade Cunningham into the tournament. I think the NCAA and college basketball needs Cade Cunningham because Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Isaiah Todd, those guys going to the G League kind of hurt your must-watch TV, right? But when Cade Cunningham's on, Cade Cunningham is must-watch TV. So I think having Cade Cunningham would be huge for March Madness. And even, look, what Mike Boykin's done is Oklahoma State, everybody's like, oh, they're just a Cade Cunningham show, yada, yada, yada. No, No, they're not. Yes, he plays a massive part of it, and he is amazing. But Avery Anderson III dropped 31 against West Virginia. They have other guys they can go to. It's not just a one-man team like you would think it would be, right? No, Oklahoma State's a very good team. Finishing 18-7 in the Big 12 conference is not easy to do this year. I mean, you got good teams like Baylor, who's maybe a Final Four lock, but nothing's a lock in college basketball. Kansas hitting their stride at the right time. There's so many good teams, right? So many good teams in the Big 12. Where even West Virginia, they're holding their own. And they can make some noise, but they beat West Virginia 85-80. And that was a tough loss for West Virginia. West Virginia was on the high 2-seed line. Possibly. It would take a little, dominoes to fall for them to get that 1 seed. But that was a tough loss for West Virginia. And a tough loss earlier in the week when they lost to Baylor. Dropping to 11-6 in the Big 12 Conference. You're going to the Big 12 Conference. A little shaky, but I trust Huggy Bear. I think West Virginia is going to be just fine, and West Virginia is bound to make a deep tournament run as well. But Alabama, they beat Georgia 89-79. And more so on Thursday's show, when I release it, we'll talk more Alabama because the SEC tournament comes up this week because it's Champ Week, all conference tournaments. It's the absolutely lovely time of the year. Kentucky might be playing Alabama, but you got to handle your business and you got to play Mississippi State on Thursday. We're not worried about that. We're talking about Alabama, 89-79. Herb Jones had 2 baskets in a 9-0 run to open up the second half, which really gave Alabama a bunch of spark to start. But dude, I love this Severe Wheeler kid at Georgia. If you don't remember, Georgia fans, you will know a guy named J.J. Frazier. J.J. Frazier was a 5'10", 5'9" guard and could shoot the lights out of the ball, crafty, could finish around the rim even though he was smaller, and he was just a good player. That's what this Wheeler kid reminds me of. I like him a lot, but Alabama was just too good for Georgia. Georgia 14-11. Earlier in the year, they were possibly sneaking in, going into that tournament. Not anymore. I don't see Georgia making it. That'd be tough. But some huge news over the weekend. We talked about Colin Gillespie of Villanova getting injured. He tore his MCL. He's out for the year. One guy you can't afford to lose. You cannot afford to lose is Gillespie. That was a big hit. Okay, well, you say at the other guard position, who else can we not afford to lose? You can't afford to lose a guy named Justin Moore. And Justin Moore. And Justin Moore has a severe ankle injury that's going to make him miss some time. So now, Villanova, you got to go with a couple of young guards. If you remember Ryan Archie Miller, a couple of years ago for Nova, he was great. Now they got his brother, so he's got to step into a role. But the bigs are fine. You still got Jeremiah Samuels, great player, and Robinson Earl. Those are the 2 guys you got to go through. But not having Gillespie, not having Justin Moore, Villanova can't win the national championship. And I know Villanova fans aren't going to want to hear that, but when you lose 54-52 to a Providence team who is horrendous, not great. A lot of injuries there for Nova, not looking good at the right time for their injuries to be getting picked up, and especially those 2 guys. They're too reliable for the team. But another team that's slipping, Florida State. Florida State lost to Notre Dame. The 10-14 Irish knock off Florida State. Not a good look for Florida State either, because Florida State got smoked by North Carolina earlier in the week, and Florida State had a locked. They were locked up number 1 seed in the ACC tournament. It was a lock, like at 99.9%, right? All they had to do was win 1 game out of their last 4, and they just kept losing and losing and losing. And you know what? Virginia kept winning and winning and winning. So Virginia took that 1 seed in the ACC tournament coming up, and Florida State took the 2. Not great, but I believe Florida State's going to get it all situated. I do think they're fine. Scotty Barnes had 17, but all the Florida State players are just... look, here's the hardest part. When it's teams like Villanova, teams like Florida State right now, you're just trying to get to the second half of the season. Because you do have stuff to play for right now in seeding aspects, but you're locked to the tournament. So it's kind of hard to get up for every game. And it might sound crazy, but it's true. Now, when you start your conference tournament, you're giving 100% effort, you're not worried. You get to the NCAA tournament, 100% effort, win or go home, right? These last couple games of the year, it's gauntlet. It's been a long season, tough. You're mentally drained. Teams like Notre Dame can come up and sneak up on you, and that's exactly what Notre Dame did on Saturday. I think Florida State's going to be fine, and they're going to be good. They're going to be good. But Virginia did beat Louisville Real shame. Real shame that the Cards just had to take a tough loss. And Purdue, a team that I'm very highly of, beat Indiana. When are you going to fire Archie Miller at this point, Indiana? You're 12-14. You're 12-14. When are you going to fire Archie? Archie's been an unbelievably disappointing coach. And I saw some Indiana fans saying, oh, Brad Stevens a lock to come to us. We're getting Brad Stevens. All right, don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. You're not getting Brad Stevens from the Celtics. Stop. Just stop. We got to look ourselves in the mirror sometimes. Like me saying, oh, Kentucky's going to make tournament. Well, that's not going to happen. I got to look myself in the mirror and say it's not going to happen. So if you're an Indiana fan, and it's not all of you that think Brad Stevens might come to Indiana, no. I get that he's from there and everything, but no. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Now, the 9-15 Kentucky Wildcats, horrible, blow out South Carolina. Okay, they blow them out. Now you can look at this on two spectrums. South Carolina is an absolute joke. They're awful. They've quit on their team. I mean, they're 6-14. McGregor. Just because you beat them 92-64 doesn't mean anything. Yes, I understand your point from that side. I understand your point from my side, or this side as well, where this was a big win because Kentucky could have just given up after losing to Florida and after losing to Ole Miss, right? And then just have no hope going into the SEC tournament. Now, let me put it this way. Kentucky plays Mississippi State 12 o'clock Thursday afternoon. I'll be watching it. Of course I will. But 12 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. Now, Mississippi State should have beat Kentucky until Dante Allen went bonkers in that game, right? Kentucky's beat Mississippi State. Then they would play Alabama. Well, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and I think Alabama would beat Kentucky, don't get me wrong, Alabama will. But let's just say, if they shock the world and upset Alabama, right? Well, then in that semifinals, you're getting either Florida and Tennessee. Have you not split with them both times? You have. You've beat both of them. And then that championship game, you're playing desperate. So yes, I don't think Kentucky's winning the SEC tournament, nor do I think Kentucky's going to go to the tournament because they would have to win the SEC tournament. But I don't think it's as crazy as you guys think it is. It isn't. And I'm not worried about having to play Alabama. I'm worried about Mississippi State. I'm worried about one game at a time. I'm worried about 12 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. What type of Kentucky team are we going to get? I'm not surprised with anything this Kentucky team does. They can go play Mississippi State and beat them by 30. Not surprised. They can go play Mississippi State. Mississippi State can beat Kentucky by 30. This Kentucky team is so inconsistent, you don't know what they're going to get. I think the best thing John Calipari's done this year, the best thing John Calipari's done is put Davion Mintz at that point guard position and let him run the offense. It's been so much more fluid. That second half he did against Ole Miss, they looked great. The South Carolina game, they put up 92, one of their closest season highs, if not season high. And not having Devin Askew run the point. I like Devin Askew. I think he's going to be good, maybe down as, next year, maybe even the year after, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. And what is one thing Kentucky needs if they're going to make a run? They need B.J. Boston, right? They need B.J. Boston. B.J. Boston went out and dropped 21. He dropped 21. Not bad. Not bad. Now, there is rumors. I'll keep touch on this. I'll keep you guys up to date. There's a chance B.J. Boston's returning to Kentucky next year, which a lot of people guys don't really ever return to Kentucky if they think they're a failure. If they're a high-end recruit out of high school and then just go one and done, right? Or, they think they're a failure if they're not one and done. Look at Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley, his freshman year at Kentucky, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good, right? And then he went into Coach Cal's office. He said, you're not going to see anybody outwork me next season, out-tough me. I'm going to be the most reliable player we have. And you know exactly what he did? He was the most reliable player we had. He was the SEC Player of the Year, okay? And now look at him. He should be in the running for Rookie of the Year. Emmanuel Quickley's a stud. It's all about your work ethic. And you look at P.J. Washington. P.J. Washington wasn't great his freshman year at Kentucky. Very disappointing. But you know what he was that sophomore year? Your go-to guy down the stretch. A guy that you had trust in. A guy you knew you were going to get 100% effort in. And who was a lottery pick? P.J. Washington. So you could have that mindset and come back and it's like, okay, I'm going to get better on my game. I'm going to get tougher in the weight room. I'm going to get more physical. I'm going to work on my game more. I'm going to adapt to the college level more. I know what I have to work on to get to my dream and go into the NBA. Or you could be a guy who's just like, nah, I trust myself. I'm going to the NBA. Straight up. And be a late first round pick and not have a guaranteed spot when you could work yourself into a lottery pick. I'm very interested to see about that. But that's off the point. Kentucky has to make a run, and they're going to need B.J. Boston. I'm excited. This is going to be a great week, boys. I'm getting pumped. Let's go. One game at a time. Mississippi State Thursday. But those were some big games overall. You know, some great games coming up as well. Like Sunday, okay? What do we have on Sunday? We had some loaded games. Oh, wait. We got to touch. I can't forget this. Duke. Oh, no, Duke. Oh, no. Duke gets absolutely ran off the floor against North Carolina. 91-73. This was North Carolina's senior night. This was not a good performance for Duke. Duke now drops to 11-11. They're 500 on the year. That's not great for Duke. Caleb Love had 18. I thought he played well. I thought Garrison Brooks in his last game as a Tar Heel, unless he opts to come back for that extra year. Duke. Oh, well. I can understand why Coach K, though, wanted a 300 and whatever team tournament now, because he knew Duke wasn't going to make the tournament. Now, I still see everybody's like, oh, Duke, Joe Lenardi, oh, Duke's going to be my last four in or first four out. How? Drake might not make the tournament. The University of Drake might not get into the tournament. But you know what? You know how many quad one wins Duke has? I believe they have 2. And that's being generous. Duke might only have 1 quad win. 1. You know how much Drake has? Drake has 6. And Drake is 25-4. They lost in the championship of the Missouri Valley Conference to Loyola Chicago on Sunday. So how can Duke get in with that? It's because it's a name brand. It's been disappointing year for Kentucky. It's been disappointing for Duke. It's just not their year, but people saying, oh, Duke can still do it. You have to go win the ACC tournament. I'll be very surprised if Duke gets in. And I think Duke could be good next year. You got guys that can come back, a couple good freshmen out of high school, just like Kentucky, that weren't ready for the college aspects of things. Okay? And that's sophomore and junior years for some of them. They can be a difference maker. But North Carolina is a team that's trending up. 16-9. I think North Carolina has locked themselves in to a tournament bid, which a couple weeks ago, we didn't think that. We thought North Carolina was going to miss it. Not so fast. Not so fast, my friend. And you know another team that we thought was going to miss it? They go by the name of Michigan State. But let me tell you, Michigan State upsets Michigan on Sunday, 70-64. Rocket Watts had 21. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Michigan State. I think this is huge. I think this might have solidified their spot in. They started off in the Big Ten, guys, 4-9. 4-9. And you know what they finished? They finished 7-2 down the stretch. They started playing good basketball when they needed to. And look, they are 15-11. Should that get them in the tournament? It's 50-50. But they've played in a gauntlet of a Big Ten. I get it. Now, I'm not saying they're in the tournament. Yeah, I think they're there. They're on the bubble. They're as close as you could be. I think that Michigan win probably puts them in. I think it probably puts them in. I mean, look, they have a win against Michigan. They have a win against Ohio State. They have a win against Illinois. All those teams, you could make an argument, are Final Four teams, maybe even Elite Eight teams, right? Right? So Michigan State probably is worthy of getting into the tournament, and I think the committee is going to take that into consideration. Now, it also has to do, what are you going to do against Maryland? If you lose to Maryland your first game in the Big Ten tournament, see you later. Like, I don't know if you can get in now. You win that, and then, then you get a rematch against Michigan. And Michigan, they beat you once, you beat them once. So I think Michigan State's going to slip in. I think they did very, very well on this past weekend on helping their tournament as a team that is completely 50-50. Now, Baylor. Oh my God, Baylor. Baylor is such a special team. I know we say this from time and time again. I get it. But they're just so good. They're just so good. Look, Makai Teague, Messiah, I'm butchering his first name, but Teague, he dropped 35 on senior night in his senior day for the Baylor Bears. 35. He was having a day. At one point, I believe he ended up, let me double check. He went, I want to say 11 for 12 from 3. 11 for 12. Let's see. He ended up coming, oh, by the way, he was off the bench. No big deal. How about that coming off your bench? Yeah, 10 for 12 from 3. 10 for 12. Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. I think that's pretty good. 10 for 12. Dropping 35 on your senior night. Guess what? That's a pretty memorable night. Now, Texas Tech, they just got smacked. This is a team, Baylor, that came into this game and said, we're going to win, and we're not leaving this court until we get a win. And that's exactly what they did. Baylor finishes the regular season 21-1. They're going into that Big 12 tournament. I expect that we are going to get, we'll probably get a Baylor versus Kansas. For all I know, yeah, Baylor-Kansas probably championship, maybe. I'm excited for that one. That's going to be good. And then Iowa versus Wisconsin. It was Luka Garza's senior day. One of the most memorable names of college basketball this year. One of the most memorable guys. And you know what Iowa's doing? Iowa is retiring the number 55 in Luka Garza's honor. There's not many players that you see in college basketball get their jersey number retired. But the impact that Luka Garza has left on the Iowa Hawkeyes program is just unbelievable. He is an Iowa legend. He is a legend of this year's college basketball that could be winning National Player of the Year. I mean, he goes out and just gives it his all. Every game, he busts his ass. I mean, he had 21 points and 16 boards against Wisconsin. It's a physical league, and for him to get, he's playing over 35 minutes a game this year, and he's in great shape, and he's getting insane stat lines. He's unbelievable. Now, Iowa did lose a huge guy in Joel Wieskamp. You can't afford to lose him, especially after losing another guard last week. So, coming down the stretch, Iowa's going to be a lack of depth. So, we're going to have to see how they can do that. It's going to definitely in the Big Ten. That's a great start. The Big Ten tournament is a great way to see how, Coach McCaffrey there at Iowa shows how much depth he has, how he wants to do his rotations as he gets ready for March Madness. So, now Wisconsin, on the other hand, I think we should start worrying about them. I do think they're a good team, but being 16-11, at the end of the day, Michigan State has 11 losses. Yeah, Wisconsin has 11 losses, and they're both in the Big Ten. So, Wisconsin, I don't know, man. They're slipping right now. They're not looking good. I don't trust them going into March. Not a good look. They're not a bubble team by any means because a couple big out-of-conference wins, they blew out Louisville by 40 or 50, blew the doors off the Cards. But you love to see it when that happens, by the way. But I don't know. But Iowa, on the other hand, they're playing good. Could they win, make a run in the tournament? Yes, but I think these injuries are going to hurt them down the stretch, and I don't know, man. I don't know. But Liberty, they beat North Alabama. And look, if we're talking about a team, like I said on my bold takes, that I think can make a run, it's Liberty. They finished 23-5. They beat North Alabama. I like this Liberty team. Here are my mid-majors that stick out to me, guys. You gotta consider Liberty, okay? Liberty. And Winthrop. They're good. Talk about Winthrop. You look at them, guys, okay? This team has one loss on the regular season. One loss. They are a very well-coached team. They're 23-1. Now, what you get out of teams usually coming out of the Big Sun Conference or the Ohio Valley Conference, all these mid-major teams, you're going to get teams that can shoot the living hell out of the rock. They're going to shoot the lights out, right? Not Winthrop, necessarily. They have size. They have guard play. That's good. They have good defense. This isn't your regular mid-major team. This is a team that can go on and not win one game in the tournament, but can win 2 games in the tournament. And maybe even 3 if we're lucky. They are a good team, and they're old. They're senior depth. I like this team. If you're trying to fill out a team to put off an upset in your bracket, don't forget Winthrop. That's a real team right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a real team. And another real team, I guess, look, Loyola Chicago is no joke. Everybody knows them. You can't hide them anymore. Sister Jean, let's get her the vaccine. Let's get her in the tourney because Loyola Chicago is bound to make a run. I mean, they're already ranked in the top 25. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're very good. They knocked off Drake. That's a team up in the air if they're going to get an at-large bid, which is unbelievable to think an Ohio Valley team can get an at-large, but they can. They can. It's going to come down to the wire. I hope they do personally because I like them. They play hard, and they're doing this without their best player. So it will be interesting to see if they can do it, but I don't know. But Loyola Chicago, Winthrop, Liberty. And you know what? I'm going to throw in, hey, how about Morehead State? Because they're a Kentucky team and you got to represent the state. They knocked off Belmont. People don't understand. Belmont was like 24-1. People thought Belmont was a lock to the tourney and was going to make some noise. So Belmont's questionable about making the tournament. They're on the bubble as well. But Morehead State, wow, did they play well? They played well. It was a great weekend of college basketball. You love to see it. You love it. I love it. And you know what? It's only going to get better. The shows, the podcast is just going to get better each and every week or day of March because the content is going to be great. Championship week, I love it. But the All-Star game. The All-Star game. The skills challenge, Sabonis won. Not many people had Sabonis winning, not in Vegas at least. It was either Luka Doncic or Chris Paul, and Luka wasn't great, and Chris Paul lost another one. So Sabonis, shout out to him. 3-point contest. My boy Jaylen Brown, oof, not great. Tatum, he got all the way to the finals. He finished third, but oh my God, Steph Curry is the best shooter in Planet history. There's not a single shooter that's better than him in the history of basketball. What he does is so unbelievable. Half of his shots coming out of that 3-point contest didn't even touch the net. It didn't even touch the net. It was that good of a shot. I mean, he's the 3-point champ. Won one in, I believe, 2015. Now he's won one in 2021. Not surprised. He is so good and so talented at what he does. He's magnificent. What a shooter. He balled out in the 3-point contest and gets another championship. And Team LeBron blows out Team Durant by 20. It was a blowout. And look, LeBron, he didn't want to go to the All-Star game. He didn't think we should have it. Okay, he played 13 minutes, 4 points. He literally had a -3 on the plus-minus category. He didn't want to be there, whatever, but he drafted a good team. I mean, Giannis had 35 points on 16 for 16 shooting. I know you say, oh, it's an all-star game, whatever. They don't play defense. 16 for 16 at any level is still incredible. It's incredible. Steph had 28, and even coming off the bench, Damian Lillard had 32. Not bad coming off the bench, right? Damian Lillard is the most underrated player in the NBA. And Jaylen Brown finished him with a quality 22 as well. Shout out to you, Jaylen. And Team Durant, they just were outmatched from the start. It was horrible. And, yeah, they got blown out. And here's the thing. The dunk contest, Anfernee Simons, whatever his name is, won. That was one of the worst dunk contests I've ever seen in my life. That dunk contest was awful. First of all, Obi Toppin won the dunk contest, people. Let's just get that one clear. Obi Toppin won the dunk contest. But that was such boring. A guy won the dunk contest by trying to kiss the rim, and you know what? He wasn't even close to kissing the rim. He was way off. No creativities. I saw one new dunk that I've never seen before, and you know what? It still wasn't a good dunk. Why don't the stars do it? Huh? And why has the NBA gone to a rule where when it's the championship, it's just one dunk. It's a dunk off. You know, who has a better dunk wins, right? Will you remember Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon? It's the greatest dunk contest I've ever seen in my life, and I put it up there for one of the greatest of all times. They just kept going and going and going and going and going because nobody can find a winner. I mean, we didn't need a winner tonight. I thought last night's dunk contest was awful, but the one dunk, and they come out. Obi Toppin did a nice one almost from the free throw line through the legs. That was nice. Nothing great. And then, Simmons tries to kiss the rim. It was a awful dunk contest. I will say that straight up. I thought it was absolutely god-awful. Let's get some guys that we actually know. No disrespect. Like, I know Obi Toppin, and I know a little Cassius Stanley, but I know him from high school, and I know him from Duke. He's done nothing in the NBA because he's on a two-way contract. Anfernee Simons, 10% of the population can't tell you who the hell he is, and he just won the dunk contest, and he shouldn't even won the dunk contest. It was a horrible dunk contest. Whatever. And then to end the NBA in the show, Blake Griffin signs with the Nets. So, you know, at this point, I've mentioned multiple times I don't think the Nets are good. And that was when James Harden trade happened. I thought they gave up too much. I'll admit when I was wrong. I was wrong. Maybe they knew what they were doing. Yeah, I said they didn't have any bench play, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're in second in the East right now, contending with the 1 seed and probably front runners to have a chance to win the championship, right? Adding Blake Griffin as a free agent, you didn't give up anything for it. You just built a super team. Well, yeah, no, they're good. They're good. I have nothing to say. I still, I don't want to see it succeed. I want the Celtics to succeed as a Celtic fan myself, but yes, they are very good right now, adding Blake Griffin. I've always liked Blake Griffin. He's kind of tailed off because he's getting older, but at the same time, the Detroit Pistons organization is absolutely awful right now, so he's probably not giving 100% when he was there. Now he gets to rejuvenate himself, gets to play as a Brooklyn Net, and oh my God, if the Brooklyn Nets don't win the Eastern Conference, what a fail that will be. So, the Nets just got scarier. And you know what? The 76ers are the 1 seed right now, but they haven't gone out and tried to make any trades to make their team better. The Celtics at the moment haven't went out to make any trades to make their team better. The Bucks haven't done any trades to make their team better. The Nets, I'll give them credit. I'll give their organization a credit. Went out and traded for James Harden and went out and got Blake Griffin. They're bringing in guys to build their team to make them better and better and better to try to chase the Kings, which is LeBron James and the Lakers. So, you got it. It all starts with the management. And that's what, shout out to the Nets. They've done a great job. But this is going to be a great week. Championship week. We know it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. SEC tournament starts Wednesday night. Kentucky plays Thursday. Duke plays in the afternoon on Wednesday afternoon, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's Wednesday. It's a great week. Sit back. If you're going to be like me, hey, it's a beautiful week. Staying up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., watching conference basketball games, it's going to be great. This next 2 weeks is going to be a special ride. I'm excited. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Mac on Sports podcast. 7 o'clock tonight, Monday, Mercer versus UNC Greensboro. Go watch it. Go shout out. Go cheer on the Mercer Bears. We're standing with you, Jackson. We want you guys to win. Get you in. Go dance a little bit. Dance, pull off some upsets in March. Let's do this. Go Mercer. But, all right, love you guys. Social medias will be in the descriptions. And peace out.